Talk about that shift in nomenclature from online video to IP-delivered TV and what that means for your business, but also for your customers.
Yeah, so, so just something I missed telling you guys is that the way we help publishers and broadcasters to make their IP-delivered business profitable is through our ad management, our sell-side ad management platform, which is basically an advertising infrastructure on which they run and manage all of their advertising campaigns across any device. So yeah, that's obviously very important, right? I mean, this is something about a year ago, we very much realized that the industry was in a very big shift. All the publishers, the broadcasters, all the technology platforms, they were all built around the PC. So it was all about online video, web TV, or whatever we wanted to call it. And we could kind of gradually see that, wow, we're soon adding mobile, tablets are coming along, the living room will soon be connected. And obviously as a founder and as a CEO, I had to think deep about what that means for our business and for our clients. So we sat down and kind of really gave this some hard thinking, and we said, well, we need to build this feature and that feature, but actually ended up realizing, it's not about building out a couple of new features. This is about having a complete new approach to how we do things. So this is, coming back to the discussion yesterday, this is about being kind of having a device agnostic approach. So it's not about features, it's about a new context. So that's kind of, so we changed our tagline from monetizing online video to monetizing the new TV. And today, everything we do in our company is all about kind of thinking beyond the PC and seeing the PC as just one of many devices where video will live and on which it needs to be monetized.
I think it's a very big part of what you've been talking about in your business is the pace of the evolution from PC to any device. Talk a little bit about what that means for the publishers and how things are changing for them.
Yeah, totally. I think so. This is a very important point. When we sit down and we talk with our clients, how do you see your growth in the coming years? I think it's a very interesting answers. I mean, there's many ways you can grow, but it eventually comes down to two things. You can either grow your volumes or you can grow your CPMs. It's pretty much that it comes down to. So there's a number of ways you can grow your CPMs. You can improve your targeting, or you can do interactive formats, etc. But there's only that much you can do. So then it comes back to increasing your volumes. And then we've got companies like Taboola, we've got Webits. There's a lot of companies out there trying to help publishers increase their volumes. But we kind of, when looking at that, and I think as we also see the web offerings mature, there's not necessarily that much growth to be had on the PC in the coming years. So if we take maybe kind of a 5-year or 10-year approach, we think PC will not continue to grow 100%, 150% year on year. So the question then is, where would that growth come from? And we're increasingly seeing mobile, we're seeing tablets, and what we're all, I think, here sitting and waiting for is the living room. And there's so many ways video can, IP-delivered video can enter the living room. Obviously the PC is one of them. You just hook in your PC. You have the TVs becoming smart themselves. You've got IPTV, which is very big in some of the European markets. You've got Apple TV, and on it goes. So when we look at kind of our numbers, 2010 we had 100% PC traffic. All of the ads we delivered were on the PC. Q4 2011, last quarter, 8% of our traffic was non-PC. And we already have clients that have more than half of their traffic being on non-PC devices. And also looking at how they grow, the PC growth is not as aggressive as earlier, but on the other hand, the PC is quite big. So the absolute growth is still significant. But looking at 2013, we think the non-PC growth in absolute numbers will outperform the PC growth. So that comes back to, obviously, if you are a broadcaster or publisher, you need to make significant investments in non-PC platforms. this year, start to build that technology, start to learn what works and what doesn't, and in the end, obviously, make sure you know how to package and sell that audience, which suddenly lives across multiple devices.
Right. Recently, YouTube rolled out something across all its partners, enabling them to turn off their content on devices that couldn't be monetized. This is something they're rolling out to all their partners. How do you feel the rules are changing for publishers with regards to distribution and monetization? Where do you think those biggest changes really are coming in?
Yeah, I think it's very challenging, right? Having 5% of your traffic on iOS, how do you monetize that, right? Some publishers go and they sell all of their mobile audience to one advertiser. And obviously, if you're a heavy mobile user, you end up being so annoyed by always getting a Heineken ad for every single video you watch on an iPad or an iPhone. So what we've done, we've recently relaunched our platform, and it's the first platform in the world where you can now sell one campaign across and deliver dynamically across multiple devices, which means if you're a publisher who you have, for example, 95% PC traffic, 5% mobile traffic, you can then sell that entire audience as one. And you will tell your advertisers, you buy our audience, this is the demographics, or et cetera, and your ads will be delivered across all of our audience regardless of where they live. And probably about 5% of that audience will be on the mobile phones, for example. And that way, not only will the advertisers be more happy because they will reach, the audience they want to reach isn't device specific. They might want to reach a sports audience, and that audience will be on multiple devices, rather than just specifically targeting the different devices as you have to do today.
Tell us a little bit about your new product release, Carbon,
Yeah.
and what's that impact upon the industry?
Yeah. So 2 weeks ago, we relaunched our platform, and this was kind of the result of the discussions we had about a year ago, wanting to rebuild our entire offering and our product to be natively understanding the dimension of devices. So going from a product that was built for the PC to a product that was built for any IP-delivered video. With that, there's kind of three things we wanted to achieve with the product. So one is we wanted the product to be compliant with all current devices, but also all future devices. That was the number one thing. Two, we wanted to empower publishers to have one workflow. So it doesn't have to matter if you book a campaign or managing a campaign across one device or 10, for example. And then three, which is kind of the core one, empowering publishers and broadcasters to sell one audience across devices, which is kind of what you need to do. And there's been a lot of innovation going into this product. We've built out this thing, so one of the first things we had to do was to define what the hell is a device. Because you start out saying, well, there's the 3-screen approach and all these things. So we ended up kind of defining one device as a combination of hardware and software. So the iPhone 4S and the iOS 5, that's one device, but the iPhone 4 and iOS 5, that's another device. And every device has unique capabilities and is kind of compliant with different codecs, bit rates, resolutions, etc. So we today have a device library of more than 7,000 devices, and we're kind of constantly keeping that up to date. And that's one of the cornerstones within the new release. On the back of that, we have the Asset Factory, which is managing asset management across all these screens. You don't want to have a flash ad end up on the iPhone. It will make it crash. And there's multiple components like that we've had to build into the platform, as well as adding the dimension of devices into every key piece of the platform today, be it targeting, reporting, forecasting, etc.
Top of mind, what's the biggest thing you're most excited about for the monetization of content for this year?
It has to be non-PC devices, and what kind of growth we can expect from that. And we're all kind of sitting around just waiting for the living room to just take off. And everybody's making a move, be it all the connected TV, all the TV manufacturers. There's a lot of exciting stuff happening on the IPTV side, which is the more closed environments, but obviously they have kind of their benefits coming at it. I wouldn't bet my money on Apple and Google, to be honest. And obviously, there's just so many things. And I think, you know, the future will be fragmented. There will be many different ways to watch video. And what's exciting is obviously empowering the publisher to, in the end, monetize their content regardless of where that content ends up.